What up, it's Chris from Laser Lemming, and today I have the Christmas lights on, just because I want to share the warm Christmas spirit with you, or the Hanukkah spirit, or the Kwanzaa spirit, whatever tree this is to you, I don't care. Just thought it had some cool lights on in the background. So anyway, today we're talking about Microsoft and the way that they treat developers and publishers, and I want to ask the question, why are these developers letting Microsoft get away with it? So to give you a little bit of history, around when the Xbox 360 launched, Microsoft came up with all these policies that were pretty much insane, and it just pretty much gave Microsoft all the power, and it was really put in place to make sure that Sony could never get the upper hand on them. Now, what these policies were was if there was going to be a game if you wanted to put a game out on the Xbox 360, you needed to make sure that that game was either exclusive to the Xbox 360, or if it wasn't, it needed to launch at the same exact time as it did on the competing consoles, aka the PlayStation 3. And if it didn't launch at the same time, it needed to have exclusive content. And I'm talking about something kind of substantial. And it also needed to have parity, meaning it had to be exactly as good as the PlayStation 3 version or better. They're bringing a lot of these rules over to the Xbox One, including the parity. Now, Microsoft has their new indie program called ID at Microsoft, or ID at Xbox One, something like that. ID at Xbox, I think. And a lot of these policies are transferring over, including the parity policy. Why is that important? Because parity on the Xbox One versus the PlayStation 4 is not so simple. If you look at the power structure between these two, the PlayStation 4 has the advantage, and that's just been proven time after time and pretty much acknowledged by Microsoft at this point, by several different employees. So Microsoft has this requirement for parity on the Xbox One, and the launch timing requirement is the same too. So if you have a game for the PlayStation 4, it needs to come out on the Xbox One at the same time. This is a problem. The launch timing is a problem because a lot of these indie developers are smaller. They can't afford to necessarily be making games from several consoles at the same time, so they have to pick and choose. Now, if they want to put this game out on the Xbox One and they can't do it at the same time, Microsoft is pretty much saying they can't put it out on the Xbox One. That's stupid. That's stupid already. Next problem is that these games have to look just as good as they do on the PlayStation 4. Now, that's not going to be impossible. You could easily do that. All you have to do is neuter the PlayStation 4 version. So you have to take what you have up here on the PlayStation 4 and bring it down to the Xbox One level. So what you have is a nice shiny Xbox One game, but the PlayStation 4 version would have looked better. That's Microsoft's policy. Now the question is, why are developers letting Microsoft get away with this? Indie developers, I can kind of see it, because they don't have any push. They don't have any pull in the industry. They're small guys just trying to scrape their way up a little bit. They don't have that kind of push. But why is Ubisoft letting Microsoft get away with it? EA, THQ, rest in peace. Anybody. Why do these developers let Microsoft have the upper hand all the time? Think about it. If Ubisoft wanted to put out Assassin's Creed 5 on the PlayStation 4, and they wanted to use the PlayStation 4 hardware to its advantage, meaning make a better looking game than what will be seen on the Xbox One. If they wanted to do that, they couldn't. They couldn't because Microsoft has the policy where they want it to look the same. Now, granted, there will be minor tweaks and differences, but Ubisoft can't push the PlayStation 4 to its fullest potential because of the Xbox One. Now, what does that mean? That means we get day one patches for things like Assassin's Creed 4 and Call of Duty that unlock higher resolution, meaning that Microsoft is A-okay with Ubisoft shipping out Assassin's Creed 4 at 720p on the PlayStation 4 and then patching it in for 1080p later. It's just semantics, it's just some BS loophole that they have to jump through, that you have to jump through in order to get the highest experience quality gaming on the PS4. And that's just because of Microsoft's policies. That's what it is. Now the thing is, if Ubisoft came out with Assassin's Creed 4 next year and said, you know what, we're not going to do this. We're not going to jump through your stupid little hoops. We're just going to make it 1080p on the PS4, 720p on the Xbox One on day one. That's what it is. No fucking patches, no nothing. Alright, that's what it is. Microsoft probably wouldn't do anything about it. Is Microsoft really going to threaten Ubisoft saying, you can't put this on our console anymore? Are they going to say that after all this press that has been going on promoting the game that Microsoft themselves have done to promote the game on the Xbox One, are they suddenly going to say, you know what, Assassin's Creed 5 can't come to the Xbox One? No, it's a huge high-profile game, and they're actually going to bend to the little guy. Not that Ubisoft is a tiny little company, but they're smaller than Microsoft. And they still have that power over them. The same thing goes for WB Games, Activision, EA, whoever. They can pull this off, and Microsoft really wouldn't do shit about it. When Valve was releasing Portal 2 on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, Sony didn't have the same policies Microsoft did regarding free DLC. Microsoft pretty much said, no free DLC on this platform, you gotta charge. Because they wanted the cut, they wanted that money. Sony didn't have this policy. So Valve said, you know what, we're going to make this DLC for free for the PlayStation 3. And it was such a high-profile game that Microsoft had to bend their will to it. And Valve isn't this huge company on the console space, at least not compared to these other companies I mentioned earlier. They're a huge company on the PC realm. And they're branching outward with the Steam boxes, but that's not relevant. So even though that they weren't that giant console publisher, they still had that power because Microsoft didn't want to look inferior to their competition. And that's what it is. If you have that power, and you do, developers, publishers, you should not. You should say, fuck this contract. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All you're doing is bending over for a company that's trying to bend you over. And the reality is, they need you just as much as you need them. That's my thoughts. Let me know yours. Comment section below. Also, got a comedy channel. You should check that out. New video every single week. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.